Hello friends, this is Yusuf here. Today we are going to see some basic concepts of display file. Okay, so let's create. So I'm going to create a display file called calc d. Okay, so it's a display file. So I'm just giving an empty file and then giving 17. Okay, so my record format is REC01. So it will ask if this record format is of what type. So I'm going to have it as a record. Record means a plain screen. This is my screen. So here I can have anything. So as of now I'm going to have star date. This will give me the date, and star time. It will give me the time. Star user. It will give me the user ID. So just to check, right? So what I'm going to do, okay. Display file is something like a front end. Okay, so you can have labels, text fields to get the input. Okay, even drop downs and scroll bars, everything. So now I'm going to have a simple screen which is going to have a label. So label will be with the single quotes like this. Do not use backspace. Okay, so it will align everything wrongly. So see, if you press enter, it will say closing quotation mark is missing. So you can delete it. Okay, so what we are going to do, this is test screen. Okay, fine. So I'm pressing F12 and then F3. I'm going to save this. Okay, if you go and see the DDS, you can see we have created a record format called REC01, and it is having date, time and user, and also the text or the label. This is the screen. Okay, starting at the position 10, line number 10 and then 17 column. So now we need a program which will display this display file. So I'm going to create a new program, calc or RPGLE. Okay, so first we need to declare the display file. So F4. So my display file name is calc d and CF. So it's combined input output. So it should be CF, and then file format is external, and then device is workstation. Okay. So once I have done that, I have directly go and do my code. Okay, so now I have declared a display file, and then you can have this. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to display it. So exfmt is the command to display, and we have to display the record format. So in our case REC01, and we will end the program. So this is our first program. It may not seems like a big one, but we will develop on top of it. So file. So we need to compile. First I'm compiling the display file in my library, compiled, and then I'm compiling the RPGLE. Okay, if I just call the program, so it's just displaying the screen. Okay, and then if I press enter, it's going out. So typically this is actually the display file, and we are communicating with the display file from the RPGLE. How we are doing it? So this exfmt is actually helping us to display the content of the display file or a screen or record format. So how we can control via a program is, I'm going to edit the file by 17, 12. So assume I'm going to have a variable. Okay, so the variables are defined such that you can put a plus. Okay, and then 3 means the input number, and 6 means it's a output number, and 9 means it's both input and output number. And at the same time, if we give I means it's a text input. Okay, and O means it's output text, B means both input and output text. So for example, I'm going to have okay, 6, which means output, I'm going to say the length is 3, output number. Okay, and then I'm going to have one more plus output string, which is IOBO, and then 10. Okay, so this will have a variable name. If you give a question mark, you'll come to know. This is actually, let us give it as input number. Okay, or can have this as number, and this is text. So now what happened in the screen, we are having a two variable, one is number and another is text. Okay, so I'm pressing F12, F3, I'm compiling it. Now we can handle that variable inside the RPGLE. For example, number equals 10, text equal to 5. Okay, so now if we compile this and call, so what we have seen is this display screen is having a variable called number and text, and the value has been assigned from the RPGLE, so it's displaying it. So that's how these two gets communicate. Okay, so the variables available in the display file can be accessed or modified in the RPGLE. So without further delay, we'll just go and build the application. I'm going to call this application as a calculator, because it's going to add or multiply or do the operation of two numbers. So for this, we need few things to be corrected first. First of all, if you press enter, it's going down. Okay, but we should not do like that. So until we press F3 or any indicator, it has to still stay in the screen. So for that, what I'm going to do, okay, go to 17. Okay, so this screen format, take option 8 and indicator keyword. So I'm going to say CA03, response is 03, it's exit. So with this, what will happen, this record format will expect F3 to handle. Okay, so 3. Okay, now here what I'm going to do, so first do while 03 is equals to off, okay, until the F3 is off, and we are going to display the screen. Okay, okay, so now let us compile this. Before that, we need to compile the display file. Okay, so now the screen is there. I'm pressing enter. Okay, you can see whenever I press enter, it's displaying the screen again, so that's why the number changes. But if you press F3, it's going out. So this is how we have to control the screen presence using the indicators. Okay, so now let's quickly do our calculator stuff. So for that, I'm going to have, okay, so I'm going to have a little bit of heading, like calculator. Okay, so I don't want this, give D to delete. So I would like to have enter first number, it's a label, and then enter code, and then enter second number, and then result. So basically I'm going to get a number here, so it's like input and it's number 3 of and 4. Okay, and then opcode is going to be my, again, the input, but it's text or a character of one size. Okay. And then output or second number is also the same, which is 3 of 4. Okay, and then the image result is actually the output of a number, so it should be plus 6 of, you can have it as 5. And one more thing is like okay, so let's give some input example, can be plus or minus this or this. We can indent. Okay, fine. So let's give the variable names. Can be number 1, it can be opcode, can be number 2, it can be result. Okay, so now everything we know. So let's give F12, F3. So I have compiled the display file now. So let's do the coding. So now first we're going to display it. So I'm going to delete these two. So until we press F3, we're just going to display the record format. Okay. Let's see how this behaves. Okay. So this is what we got. So it's having the screen, so you can give the numbers if you want. Okay, this even accepts everything. Okay, so we need to control it in the program. So if I press enter, it's going up, so it's displaying the screen again, because until we press F3 it will display. So what we are going to do, we are going to code it. After we press enter, we need to do some operation with the variables we get from the screen. So which means after we get the exfmt, now we would have got the values in the variables. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a select statement, then opcode equals to plus. Okay, I'm going to do result equal to number 1 plus number 2, then code equals to minus result equals to number 1 minus number 2, and code equals to star results equals to number 1 into number 2, and then code equals to divide by results equals to number 1 divide number 2. If it is other, we do something. So as of now I'm giving result equal to 0, end select. Okay, so we have done something. So let's see what happens. I'm going to compile it. So I'm giving 10 plus 10, so it's giving me 20. Okay, and okay, let's try with 10 multiplied by 2, no, 5, 50. So it works fine. So it is working fine for the positive test cases, I can say. So we have to check with the negative test case also. For example, 10, it accepts any characters. Okay, so then we give number 20 or whatever. So it's display 0 because it is going to the other condition and then displaying it. But we really have a problem if I give 99999 multiplied by 9999. Okay, so we have a problem because our output variable can hold maximum of 6 length. Okay, but 5 or 6 length, but this multiplication gives me the huge number. Okay, so we need to handle that. So let's go. So this happens at here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this under here, monitor. So I'm going to monitor this code, and if I find any error, okay, I'm going to set this as to 0. So this is actually the exception handling stuff. Okay, just we are checking the statement is working fine or not. If we are finding any issues, then whatever code is there in on error will be executed. And also I'm going to do the same for this thing also. If we divide by 0, we'll have the same problem, right? So monitor this statement on error. Okay, so now let's check this out. So again I do the same, multiply by, so nothing happens. But as application, it's not giving a good impact or the impression of why it is 0. It has to tell an error message, something like, okay, see the number is huge, something like that. Okay, so what we can do is I'm going to have a message here plus output of length 50, and I'm going to call this as e-message, error message. Okay, and then give a star and give a color which is red. Okay, fine. F12, F3. Okay, so now what happened? Now we are having a variable called error message. Okay, so we can use that. If we have a error, then we say error message equals to output is out of range, and similarly here you can say can't divide by 0. Okay, so this error message is a variable in the display file, so whatever we assign to this variable will be displayed in the screen. So file, compile. Okay, we got some error. Okay, what it says. Okay, got it. So we didn't compile the display file. That's why it is not able to recognize the e-message variable. Okay, good. So now if we call, so same thing. Maybe we can try with divide by 0. Okay, so it says can't divide by 0. Okay, and similarly we give a big number. It says output is out of range. And you can notice one more thing. If I didn't press anything and then give a enter, it still says output is out of range. Okay, so that is because we are not reinitializing this variable on next run. Okay, see this, once this variable is assigned with the value, again it's trying to display the record, and it's having, this variable is having the same string. So what we need to do, whenever we display the, before we displaying the screen, we'll reset these to blanks. Okay, now this should resolve our issue. Okay, so here I say maybe I give 11, nothing happened because it took this as 0, I guess. We add one more thing that will give us the correct output. So if it is other, we say opcode not valid. Okay, see if I give 1, okay, it is clearing it here. Okay, fine. So what is the problem is, every time it displays it clears. So no, it has to clear on the next run. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, opcode is not valid because we didn't give anything, right? So 1 plus 1 it says 2, it's cleared. And maybe 11111 multiply by 999, it says outputs out of range. And again, if you give 1 plus 1, it's 2, so it's working. So I think we would have learned some basics about the display file. You can very well go and